Bum, bum, bum. Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Thursday night. Time for an episode of Thrifty Business. Let's make us big for a second. Hey.
Hi.
How is everybody doing? Oh, my gosh. I don't know why. It feels like I haven't done this forever, but it's just been a week, and I miss everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. How you doing, Debs?
I'm doing good. Doing
good.
From Lake Tahoe. Had a blast on the water. It was warm.
Yeah, so how is the temperature of the water up in Tahoe? I've never been to Tahoe, so I don't know.
You have to get used to it. I mean, it's August, so it was nice. And we have, a lot of snowpack is in there. But it felt really, the pool to me felt the same as the lake. When you first walk in, and then it's like bathwater when you get used to it. So it was fun.
I haven't talked to my mommy in 2 days because she's out with the girls. Hi, Mommy. All right, let's get right to it, to our first segment and introduce our guest. Shall we? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oops, I was unprepared with one important part. There we go. Ta-da! Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different mug, and I try and match it up to our guest. And this week, our guest is Lisa Driskill. Hello, Lisa. How the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jason?
I am dandy. All right. Lisa's on for one reason only, to talk. Well, not really, but the main reason, the reason we started chatting was because of She Sells Bibles. And who is the co-star of the Bible but the devil himself? So I went with a devil tiki mug. Plus, our tiki bar at home is called the Den of Sin, and we have a devil logo. So anytime there's cool devil mugs, I grab the mug. And then straight from Key West, it is Key West Devil's Rum. So, I didn't have any God, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph rum. There isn't a tiki mug, so you got to go with what you got.
I think that's a good thing.
Cheers. What do you got, Deb?
Oh well, you were just doing a tiki thing show the other day, and we were talking. I think this is the Secret Beach, and you were saying there's no elephant in tiki, and everybody says, "Well, yeah, this is the elephant Christmas from Trader Sam's," so I had to bring him on, and I got a little rum and Coke in here.
And what are you drinking, Lisa?
I got some frozen lemonade from Sonic in my Mizzou cup.
There you go. All right, cool. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
All right, let me throw that back up there, and let's get right to. Oh, it's weird. I get everything all set up, and then things change size on me, like after I'm done, and I never understand it, but oh well. Still working out the kinks because... Hey, it's time for our scores of the week. These are the things that Debbie and I have sold the best this week. These are BOLOs. Be on the lookout. Oh, my. These were all ready to go. It's so weird.
I know, and I'm having to get used to because I don't have to click on anything. We got this free. Isn't this gorgeous? It's a shelf hanging thingy, and somebody around the corner had all this stuff. Like I think they bought maybe some storage auction units or whatever. It was free, and of course it was all collapsed, so it didn't look like such a good item. But I grabbed it, and I had it listed. I think I had it listed for $55, $59, and then that had one of those offer things. Use those offers. I only took $5 off, and I barely got my fingers off the keyboard, and it sold.
Yeah, that's a good tip because unless the person's selling it like at a garage sale. Unless they have it hanging up, when it's sitting flat, it don't look like much.
Mm-mm.
So you got to know to be like, let me hold this up here.
I know exactly what it was. I said, I'll take that. And we got some other stuff from them too, but that was awesome. That was a free, $50. But yeah, that offer, it sold right away.
Cool.
This is not our best picture here, but you know what? This sold. $99. I think I paid $8 at Savers. It's a men's Levi or denim coat, and then Bill, it went to Fredericksburg, Virginia, or somewhere, and Bill said this could be for like those Civil War reenactments. So
very cool. Hey, a tiki mug! Shut up! What?
Yes. This was what I alluded to the other day when you were doing your little tiki class. We got this at Trader Sam's in Anaheim. I think we probably paid $25. I think it was last year's Halloween or 2 years ago. But anyway, yeah. And it was interesting because our friend Trader Don talked about Haunted Mansion. It was her 50th birthday. That sold that night. And I said, that's why this sold. And so we were happy to sell that for $179. Love to be for free. And I wanted to bring this up because we're talking about Bibles tonight. I actually sold this in January 2016 on Bonanza, and it was a consignment. It's a like leather, and it was just gorgeous. It's fallen apart. It had a lot of names, family names and things written in, and the little pewter snapped in. We're still got $135. And what I liked about Bonanza, I could go back all the way to 2016. My sales. I don't have a whole lot of sales on Bonanza, but I was able to go all the way back to find this Bible in January 2016. I can't do that on eBay. So
nice.
That was a cool little tip.
All right, we're going from one book to another. Who needed the Men at Work music book? Well, someone did, and it went out today. So this is all the music for the songs by Men at Work. The two albums, Business as Usual and Cargo. Men at Work for you youngins were big in the 80s. And so someone wanted to play it, and it is off. It sold today, so it's off and running today, $30.
Nice.
And I noticed when I was prepping this, my assistant took out of focus pictures, which I never noticed when I listed. This is a crew sweater from a Michael Jackson tour in 1988 called the Nocturne. They were the Nocturne Lighting and Video Crew. And usually you see crew either jackets or T-shirts. You never see sweaters. And I got this at Buffalo Exchange for $28, and I sold it for $100.
You crush it at Buffalo Exchange.
Oh, heck, I do. Yoo-hoo. And then, speaking of crushing it, my wife found this for $12, and she's not a big purse girl, and the purses that she carries are usually like fun and tiki, so she isn't like this, I got to have the finest leather purses, but she didn't know the brand, but it looked good, felt good. She looked it up, said, this we should buy. We bought it for $12, and we sold it for $80.
Nice. Boy, she's going to get to quit her job pretty soon and just thrift with you.
And then one of the things we've been doing quite frequently is a date night Friday night. We'll go grab some dinner, maybe play a quick 100 on video poker somewhere, and then go sit at the record store and pick through the just-in vinyl bin. And we're always looking for the weird stuff. So this was the weird one from a couple weeks ago. Listed it and sold it within like 18 hours. Paid $9.99 for it. Sold it for $56.
Oh, that's interesting. That's too cheap.
Oh, I totally forgot about this. Stephanie's son was in Buffalo Exchange, saw that sweater, and didn't grab it. He's such a rookie. I totally forgot because that came from Buffalo Exchange in Ventura.
Oh, ooh. Lesson learned.
I got it. Do-do-do-do. All right, so now it's time for the CD and cassette scores of the week. And man, I got a bunch, so let's jump right into it. No slowing down. Soul Coughing was an alt-rock band of the 90s. Just sold this cassette for $17.24 plus shipping. Another alt-rock band of the 90s was the Meat Puppets. $22.49 plus shipping. And then we're going to be like, woohoo! Oops, I'll make that a little bit bigger. This was a gold disc that I paid $8.99 for and sold. Oh, that's wrong, actually. I made a bad graphic. That should say $2. I paid $2 and I sold it for $40. Nice. This is Angel Fish. I paid $5.99 and sold it for $47.46. And the Transformers movie soundtrack, I paid $8.99 and I sold it for $55. Now, all three of those things were three specific things I taught in my webinar for flippingcds.com. So if you've not taken my webinar yet, you should, because it teaches you about all this and more. So the webinar is on sale right now, I think for $47. If you found this Transformer CD based on what you learned, you've already paid for the webinar. And then the other two were just gravy. And then everything else from that moment on is free money. So head over to flippingcds.com, get the webinar. It's about 2.5 hours of all the knowledge you need to get going with flipping CDs.
Yeah, because if you buy it now and learn them, you can get some Christmas money.
Oh yeah, Christmas
money
is coming. All right, let me get that off the screen. Let me get this on the screen. Woo! Now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. We've all had mistakes, and I think we learn more from our mistakes than we do our successes.
That's so true. This DVD has been listed since May of 2017. I had it at $24, I think, and I just lowered the price. I haven't had an offer. I haven't had nothing on it. So it's clearly a dud. I had free shipping. I took the free shipping off and lowered it to $14, so we'll see if it moves. But that's definitely one of my big duds sitting there. And then I know somebody who has what? You got tote loads full of rubber stamps when we were at Savers. I've had this one listed. Oh, wait a minute. This has been listed since 2017. That other one, the DVDs, for 4 years it's been listed. So anyway, this rubber stamp's been listed since May of 2017, and it just finally sold for $8.99, which was my full asking price.
And shipping, so not too bad, but yeah. I get it.
I don't know if it was someone gave it to me. I can't remember, but yeah, rubber stamps, they're kind of slow.
All right, so this is what I thought was a really cool vintage Kahala shirt. It's called reverse print. For those of you who don't know Hawaiian shirts, reverse print is more vibrant on the inside and more muted on the outside. It's a specific design of Hawaiian shirts. Some people love them, some people hate them. And the guy wrote me, and he goes, "Look, I'm offering you $20. If you accept it, cool. If you don't, cool." He goes, "I usually like these other types of shirts, but this reverse print is so cool." And then I looked at the date I listed this shirt. It was April of 2017. Oh. Yes, $20. Yes, goodbye. I'll see you later. 2.5 years. Get out. I'm good. You can go. And it went to Hawaii. I always love that when that happens.
Now, when you have these reverse, is it better to show the inside where it's a brighter picture?
Yeah. This assistant, whoever did this 2.5 years ago, didn't have a good shot. You should have a good shot of the inside. Like open it up a little bit from the bottom so you can see the inside and the outside at the exact same time.
Yeah, because it's so muted.
And this, I think I've shown this before on duds. Look, Back to the Future. Nightmare Before Christmas stuff is always pretty good. This is a cool little vinyl plush of Jack Skellington, and no one wants it. I've had it up for 2 years. So I'll tell you right now, if anyone's watching, it's got free delivery. I will happily take $12 for it. So if you're Jack Skellington and you don't have this, pop on over, grab it from my store, Tiki Pug Music. Make me an offer of $12, and I'll ship it right out to you.
Halloween's right around the corner. That could be part of your costume.
You got it. Now it's time for not Duds of the Week. I got to be quicker on my banners. There we go. Where in the world did our stuff go? If you're not selling internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers.
That's a lot of people. Okay, this is there we go. It's a 3-volume set of books that we sold for $89. It's a consignment. And I had to put it, it went to Boondora, Victoria, Australia. And when I was working on the graphic, this little kangaroo jumped up. I thought I had to add him in there too because he's so cute.
All right, so mine is, hey, you've seen the sweater once before already. It went to, my wife tried to help me with this, Provence Alpes Côte d'Azur, France, obviously. Yeah. And the customer was so nice. He made me a $100 offer. Now I had listed at $200, but the one thing I didn't mention before is Michael Jackson stuff comes with some baggage, whether you believe it or not. And we're not here to debate it, but I'm just saying. So when I got a decent offer, I'm like, I'm going to take it because there is baggage that comes with Michael Jackson stuff. So, I got a first decent offer. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Oh, it's going internationally. My shipping tip will show me how to save more money international shipping. So I'll make a little bit more on the shipping I charge for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
You might not know about all that stuff in France.
All right, now it's time for Close Encounters of the Thrifty Kind.
Okay.
Ran the Popeye?
Yeah, I didn't have actual pictures. I didn't. Anyway, Bill and I stopped at our Savers here in Vacaville, and I walked in and I heard someone say, "Hey, I know you." And I turned around. We attend a very large church in town. I turned around. I thought, no. I said, "No, I'm sorry. I don't know you." And he goes, "Yes, you do. Don't you dare start that with me. I was your manager at Denny's." I said, "I've never worked at Denny's." And he just kept going and getting closer to me. And I'm looking around, where's my husband? My husband was already on the other side of the store. And then the guy goes, he gets real close to me and he goes, "Yeah, you're Heidi." I go, no, I'm not Heidi. And then he goes, oh, you got that Anglo-Saxon face that they like take your face and then they draw other faces from it. And I'm like, and this guy looked like he was maybe in his 60s. He didn't look like he was stoned or anything. Then he started telling me about, oh, I should have listened to my waitress and not married that girl. And just when his whole life started, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Where's Bill? Where's Bill? So finally, somehow I said something and I think I just kind of walked away, but I was like, it was freaky. I mean, I didn't know if he was going to come at me or if he was going to
Maybe you owed him money. Maybe he owed you money.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't do anything.
All right. So my thrift encounter this week is kind of funny. I was home in Cleveland, garage selling with my parents because I wanted to see all mom's quarter items.
Ooh.
And so mom had just kind of previewed a bunch of garage sales. And dad was driving. She's like, all right, let's go to this one on this street, then this one on this street. So we're just bouncing around good old Chardon, Ohio. And she shouts out an address near the high school. As we pull up, not paying attention to where exactly we're at, it's our cousin's house, my cousin Dina and her husband Bob. And so this is how we garage sale in Ohio.
No, we're not doing this now. All right.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that some Aerosmith there?
That was good job. Yeah.
Walk this way.
Yes, very good. Yeah. So it was just funny because we rolled up for that split second. We're like, oh my gosh, we're at our cousin's house.
Was everything a quarter?
Well, hang on. Hang on. There it is. There's the quarter table right there. Just a quarter. See? It's like you knew this was coming, Debs.
That is awesome. Look at all that cool stuff for a quarter.
So yeah, just funny that we happened to roll into their house and not even realizing that it was going to be their house.
So that was a surprise visit for you to get to see your family.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great. All right, now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. Little tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
Well, we all know we like to use bubble wrap and packing peanuts. This could go both ways. Nextdoor is an app. I use it. I haven't bought anything. I've tried to sell a few things, but see if you have the app in your town and put on there, hey, you got any bubble wrap? You need packing peanuts? Because everybody's buying online now. And so, they might have some extra bubble wrap that you can run around your neighborhood. And it can go your close neighborhood or you can expand it out. So that's my tip. Go find some free bubble wrap and ask them if they got packing peanuts too. Maybe some boxes. They might even have some good boxes.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to put myself on the big screen for a second. I'm looking at all of you. All right, show of hands in the chat. Who has not switched to pirate ship yet for your shipping? Who of you? Who is going to be honest and say, I still haven't switched, Jason? I don't care how many times I got to show you how much savings there is.
Yeah,
all
but
right.
we have new members all the time. Every day we have new members to the thrifting board.
All right, so Susan was the first one to be honest.
But she's in Canada, right? So it's this pirate.
Oh, Susan in Canada? Okay, then she don't. Joy hasn't used it yet. All right, so I'm going to show you another example that you should be, why you should be doing it. So when I went to ship, oops, I got to get that back up there. When I went to ship let me turn that off for a sec. When I went to ship the sweater, if I would have went through eBay, it would have been $20.52. But through pirate ship, it was $17.95. So that was $2.55 savings. 2 weeks ago, I had a $30 savings. So imagine if every package you shipped, you could save $2.50. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? So those of you who have raised your hand, especially on international shipping, and what you need, what you need is to get signed up, and then you message pirate ship and say, I would like your simple export rate, please. And that is a better shipping rate than eBay has ever brought us.
But can I tell them what happened to us?
No, because I don't believe it until I see it. So save that.
Bill's got the chat. You know those books that we sold to Australia that I showed you? Those heavy books? We saved $19 by buying our shipping through eBay for that instead of pirate ship.
I said save that.
I know, but Bill's got the chat and he asked them what the heck, and they said eBay had a better rate or something. We don't know, but it really did happen. I refunded that guy his $19.
Yeah, there's something going on there that I'm not sure about. All right.
And it could be because it was a heavier item. You know what I mean?
Nope.
I don't know.
No. All right. So if you want to learn more shipping tips right here on this YouTube channel, I do some Tiki Mug unboxings. The original intent was to kind of copy kids who unbox toys and games, but it turned into shipping tips every single time. The green mug, shocked it made it in one piece, and they overpaid for shipping. You should never overpay for shipping. So tune in, check that out. That video's in this channel here. And the other two are vintage mugs, both purchased from members of the Thrifting Board, and they made it beautifully. And see how well they packaged compared to how poorly the eBay seller packaged the green mug. Gosh, dang it. I am angry. Okay, now it's time for our Thrifty tip of the week. Little tips and tricks when you're out and sourcing.
Yes, if you have a Big Lots in your area, you want to go through there with your Amazon, eBay apps and scan and look around. They have all the holiday items. They have toys and households and food and all kinds of items. And I've done, in the years past, I've done pretty good in Big Lots. You can also join their family friends little membership thing and get $5 off, and then you get birthday and all these other little tips and things that you get. They're very friendly about wanting to save you money. So definitely check out your Big Lots and see what they have.
Big Lots. I love Big Lots. I get most of my bins from Big Lots. Oh, I'm like, where's my tip? It's right here next to me. Ha 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 ha. All right. So I forgot it was a live visual. All right. So many times I've told you to go to the book sections of record stores and obviously the thrift stores and to look for the music books like I just showed you that the Men at Work book sold. But what's there that I've never talked about from time to time is programs. So here's a program from the Jersey Boys musical.
Nice.
Here's a program from Andre Bocelli in concert. Here's a program from the Cirque Beatles show Love. Here's a program for Bette Midler on tour. I'll play that one for last. Here's a program for Andre Bocelli on tour.
Again.
Different one. Phantom of the Opera when it was here in Vegas. And the music to Thriller.
Oh, wow.
This is like $40 right here. So these were all $2, and they will be anywhere from $12 to $40. Nice. So go to the music section. That's where you'll find the tour program and the things like that.
So the programs just kind of talk about, do they go act 1, act 2, scene 3, or do they?
Well, for the musicals, yeah, but for the concerts, you know, it's like when we were kids, like, oh yeah, oh, that Bon Jovi program. That's just pictures of them in their big hair. So
I don't think I ever bought a program. I went to rock concerts.
They were so expensive. I bought a few, but man, I lost them. I don't know where they went. That stinks.
Oh well, maybe you'll find them in a record store.
Yeah, that's true. All right, now it's time for our eBay tip of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're selling online.
Okay, I stumbled upon this page and I gave you, there's a whole long URL there and I gave you a bit.ly link to get to there too. This whole page talks about taxes and imports and setting up your tax table and all kinds of great stuff. And remember they told us to quit saying that we don't have to tell our buyers you may have to pay import fees. But if you look right there, it says if you're selling to buyers outside the U.S., you should inform them about the potential import charges they'll need to pay when they receive their item. So this is eBay now telling us. So we probably maybe should add that back in our listings because I know lately in the Thrifting Board, a couple people have had buyers say, I'm not picking this up at the post office. I have to pay import fees. If you use GSP, eBay will tell them, hey, you're going to pay import fees. But a lot of us aren't using GSP unless it's really expensive. So we might want to think about adding that little blurb back in. And so go to this page, look around, read all of these. And also this is where you can find when eBay is going to start collecting sales tax for your state. For California, they're going to start in October. And I am so happy about that. So this is a really great page to go and just read all stuff about taxes and import fees.
Will you add the link to the post in the Thrifting Board when
Yes,
we're done
I will.
later? All right, cool. Okay, so here is mine. So last night, Stacy and I are watching Big Brother, and one of the girls was wearing purple camo shorts, and purple's my favorite color, and I said, why don't I have purple camo shorts? So I went to eBay like a person does to go buy purple camo shorts. So when I sort This one comes up first, $19.99. But they, come here. They do not take returns. I will not shop with you, as will a ton of buyers will not shop with you if you don't take returns. And here's the thing I always hear from people who, for whatever weird reason, don't want to take returns. They're like, I'm doing just fine. But you probably could and should be doing better, because I had this in my cart and said, nope. But I'm glad I said nope, because I found this exact same pair, $24.95, free shipping and 30-day returns. It's clothes. Sometimes 40s fit like they should, and sometimes they don't. And so I want to be able to return it in case it doesn't. So $24.95 free shipping, or their one was $20 plus $7.65 shipping. So have returns. It gives the buyer a sense of
yeah, they trust you. And they can get around a no return policy anyway. They can just open a claim with PayPal. Exactly. They can lie and say item not as described. So it makes no sense.
And when you shop, you like to have returns options. And guess what? Most people forget to return things anyway. They're so few and far between.
They give it to a kid or a friend. For that price, it's not worth their time, effort.
All right, time for Jeans with Joy's Good Job Award of the Week. Now, Joy is our resident Levi's and all jeans expert, but she's really specialized in Levi's. And every week she wants to profile someone who's done a really good job. And so this week is Jane. And Jane found these 501s new with tags that looked amazing. But when she started doing the research and looking at the numbers on the tag, nothing was coming up. So she came to the thrifting board and said, hey, what the heck? So when you can't find anything, you have one of two things: super duper duper rare or a fake. And so unfortunately, these were fakes, but luckily for Jane, she figured it out with the help of Joy beforehand, because if you go to sell fakes on eBay and get caught, that's going to be a problem for you. So you don't want to do that. Yeah. So if you want to find out more about Jeans with Joy, just head over to jeanswithjoy.com.
A fabulous group. There's so much knowledge in there.
All right. So gosh darn it. Little housekeeping. The next big Ecom event is Ecom Chicago 2019 coming up in, Chicago. I know that's a shocker. October 16th through 18th, a 3-day event. Get signed up now, ecomchicago.com. Myself, Chris Green, John Lawson, 3 of the tons of speakers. Brian Burke will be there from eBay. And what's cool is it's 2 days of learning, the speakers talking from the stage like most events. But day one is both the sponsors get to demonstrate their products, and all the speakers are coaches for the day. So you can sign up for all these coaches. So you can bounce from me, and we'll talk about your eBay store, to Chris Green. He'll teach you about doing merch on Amazon, to John Lawson, how to make social media work for you. And it is such a fun day. We did it last year. I knew it was going to be fun. It was 10 times more fun than I thought from my perspective. Like, everyone thoroughly got great information out of it, but it was so fun meeting everybody, spending 20 minutes with them, working on their eBay store. I loved it. So if you're in the Chicago area, head on over to ecomchicago.com and get signed up. All right, next week, our guest is John Robertson. And have you ever thrifted your house? Because our guest kind of did.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave that little kind of quizzical thing just hanging out there. But you got to tune in next week, Thursday night, 8 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock West Coast. All right. So before we bring our guest in here, I want to address something that has happened a couple times in the thrifting board, and it makes me very unhappy. And so this is the rare time when you're going to have serious Jason here. So be ready. I found this pride flag, and I wanted to give it away to somebody who was in the LGBTQ community, or had a relative or a friend or whatever. And I actually had to remove a lot of people from the group because adults don't have any manners for some reason anymore. They think they're online, they're behind their keyboard. They can say things like gross and disgusting. And the only pride flag is the United States of America flag. If you want to cause drama in my group, you will last about a second and a half, and I'll remove you. Now, the same goes on the other side of the coin. someone found these blow molds of the nativity scene. So now we're talking baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph. And I wouldn't allow anyone to go religion stupid. Jesus isn't real. I wouldn't allow that either. I wouldn't allow bashing of anybody's ideals, the way they live. It's legal. It's cool with me. All right. So do me a favor and don't be a jerk. Yes. If you don't like a post, just skip it. You know how many times we had to say that in the groups I've ran over the years, Deb? It's insane. And look, it's a thrifting group. If it's legal to own and legal to sell, we can talk about it. It might cross your line. It might not cross mine. But if it crosses your line, just skip it. We don't want your commentary on your soapbox. Go do that on your private wall.
Yes.
Okay? Because I wouldn't allow anyone to bash Jesus, and I won't allow anyone to bash the pride flag I won't allow anyone to bash anyone.
Yeah, that's right.
So mind your P's and Q's. You're in my house as my guest, and I love to have you in my house as my guest. I want everyone to be in my house as my guest. But if you can't mind your manners, you go bye-bye really quick. And then you go find me on YouTube and you give me some crap there. And then you go find me on Thrifty Business page. You give me some crap there. But guess what? I just get rid of you everywhere I go. You go. So don't do it. All right, please.
Yes.
Because tonight we're talking Bibles. And whether you believe in religion or not, boom, it is something that you should know about because there's money to be made. Right, Lisa?
Yes.
How was that for a segue? Oh, wait. Shoot. I didn't do the doorbell. Oh, crap. I forgot my one soundbite. Hold on. Hey, there we go. Hey, everybody. Our guest tonight is Lisa Driskill. How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. So, look, you just, you don't have like any fear or nothing. You just walked up and said, hey, Jay, I sell Bibles. I mean, just pretty much straight up. And I have never sold a Bible. I've looked because Debbie's talked about them. And then it's one of those things where you learn something new and you go look the first couple times, you don't find anything, and then you forget about it because you didn't find anything. And then you go back to your norm. I'm in the CD section. I'm in the jeans section. And then I'm like, oh, I got to start looking. Because the one thing I noticed, and we'll ask you about what you notice, at least in Savers in this town, they have a whole Bible section. Yeah. So it's not like you have to go digging for them. They're all put together for you. So do you find that? So you're in Oklahoma, right, Lisa?
Yes, I'm in Oklahoma.
Do you find that where you're at, the thrift stores have them in their own section?
I don't do a lot of thrift stores. I do more estate sales.
Okay.
And sometimes they are spread in every room of the estate sales. And then sometimes they're all together. So it just depends on the organizers.
Oh, and real quick, Lisa is in her daughter's photo studio. As you can see, there's not a lot of stuff in there. That's why it's echoey. Nothing to do about that. So I thought I would just head it off at the pass. So before I go, Lisa's echoey. It's just because there's not a lot of stuff in there. So, so do you? I don't know exactly where you live. I mean, are you in a populated area or a little bit more remote?
I'm in a very rural area, but I work in Norman, where the University of Oklahoma is. So I do most of my estate sailing in Norman and in Oklahoma City, and then sometimes we take trips to Dallas.
And how far is Dallas from you?
2.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
What? So, do you not like thrift stores, or you just prefer estate sales, or?
We don't have a lot of really good estate sales in my area. We go sometimes, in the winter when there's not a lot of good garage sales.
Gotcha.
You mean you don't have a lot of good thrift stores in your area, but you have estate sales? We have
great estate sales. We have amazing estate sales and not as many good thrift stores.
Now, isn't Oklahoma in the Bible Belt?
It is. And so I get most of the estate sales I go to have a lot of Bibles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So funny little note, my mom just popped in there. My great grandmother was married 5 times, outlived every husband.
Good for her.
There are some thoughts that maybe shenanigans are going on, but she lived in Norman with her 5th husband. So there you go. There's your little Jason fun fact of the night.
That's great.
So let's take it back. When did you start selling online? How far back do you go with selling?
1999.
What?
Yes. 20 years. I just celebrated in March.
Nice.
So what do you think? I mean, 20 years is a long time. Remember, what made you go, hey, what's this new thing I'll sell on? Do you know what made you do that?
I do. I have 4 children, and I had 4 children in 6 years, and I just was a stay-at-home mom and needed some extra cash to be able to feed my children. And so I started selling on eBay with just the things around the house. So I began as a dabbler, like last week, your show. And like next week, I just thrifted things in my house. I mean, didn't thrift them, I sold them.
Right.
Just my kids would literally hide their toys from me. Yeah, they always were worried that I would sell them, but I always assured them that you cannot sell people on eBay.
So have you sold consistently all these 20 years?
I dabbled consistently. And I guess about the past 6 years, I've been doing a lot of selling. So I also teach buying and selling on eBay at a local technology center. And so I don't feel like ethically I can teach if I don't sell.
And
That's good.
What was the first time you said, I'm going to sell a Bible?
I really don't remember the first Bible I sold.
Yeah. And without going too deep, you're a religious person?
My husband was a pastor. He's not now. We do go to church. So I love Jesus.
And you work in a church, right?
I do work at a church. Yes, I work at First Baptist Church, Norman.
So, and the reason I asked if you're a religious person, so when you're at the estate sale and you see these Bibles, were you thinking, oh, that's a nicer one than we have, we should bring that one home? Or were you thinking, ooh, I bet that's worth some money?
I bet that's worth some money.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's certain things that I look for, certain aspects of a Bible that make it better than others. So I enjoy it. Actually, when I was young, my uncle gave my grandmother a special Bible. Well, she wore the cover off of it.
Oh.
So for Christmas, when I was a junior in high school, I took her Bible out of her house and took it to a bindery and had them put a leather cover on it and then gave it to her for Christmas. And she loved that Bible. And so when she passed, I was able to have that Bible. And so I think right there kind of gave me a love and appreciation for people who love their Bibles.
My husband just said, sell that Bible. You don't sell your grandma's Bible, Bill.
No, I'm not going to sell my grandma's Bible.
I think my mom has my grandma's Bible. My grandma was a pastor eons ago, too. So that's special. All the notes in there. And
yeah.
My mom's in chat, and I'm pretty sure if my memory recalls right, we have a really ornate one from our family, maybe 1800s. So, Mom, throw that in there. But my wife has a very important question. Do the wind really come sweeping down the plane?
Sometimes it does. So in the end of June, we lost 10 trees in our yard because the wind did come sweeping down the plains.
Oh, my.
And they came, the root balls, just like that.
Isn't that called a hurricane or a tornado?
Well, some people call them tornadoes, but ours, they were calling straight winds. So it was pretty crazy. But we've had a very active tornado season this year. But 10 trees is a lot of trees in one evening to lose. It was scary.
So Jenny wants to know if you go to the bins in Oklahoma City, and I'm going to add to it, if you do you ever find Bibles there?
I don't go to the bins in Oklahoma City.
All right, there you go. But Jenny also wanted to point out where to go.
Could she take me?
Well, here. So she said, Lisa, we have a selling group in Oklahoma City. We meet about every 2 months.
Great, let's connect.
Yeah. So Jenny, when you have your next meeting, let me know. We'll pop it in the thrifting board, let everyone know in that area, and go from there. So then, have you ever sold Bibles on cassettes?
I have Bibles on cassettes and Bibles on CD.
Nice.
So the message is not new, but it's a newer translation, interpretation of the Bible. And I found a whole set on CD, and my husband listened to it and I listened to it, and then we sold it on eBay. It was wonderful.
I just remembered we have the whole Bible on cassette. I bought it for my kids when they were younger, and I think we listened to it once.
Yeah.
So Linda wants to know, is older better, or is that not necessary?
Well, It depends on the age. So if they're brittle and yellow and the paper quality is not very good, then I would say it's not quite as good. 80s, 90s Bibles, 70s Bibles, those are really good. I have sold some of the older ones, but really the best, from my perspective, what I've sold are the 80s and 90s Bibles.
So my mom said they sold the Bible for $125. So guess that's gone.
Oh, wow. I sold just this week. Let's see, this is Thursday. Just this week, I sold one of my old Bibles that I had, and I was pretty excited.
I still have my Bible from 1976, and I'm never selling because I have all these notes in it. You write in it. Things. And I think they're good genealogy too. The older Bibles, there's a lot of history and things written down in there.
That's right. And so someone on the thrifting board said just the other day that they wrote down the names in their title, the names that were in the on the genealogy pages. I thought, what a great idea.
So that was going to be a question. So it's like, you're like right there. Hey, Deb, I'm going to take you out for a second and bring you right back. There we go. I wanted to pop Lisa up at the top there. I wasn't sure if that would work, and it worked. Yeah,
it's the Brady Bunch.
That way, when we throw up a question, it's only blocking Debbie a little bit, not. So there we go. I didn't know if that was going to work. It worked. Yeah. So someone's saying 1880s or 1980s. Well,
I think the 1980s personally. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Is the 1980s. That's what I've been selling lately. A whole bunch of them. So
a 3-ring Bible, is that normal?
Yes. Well, I've sold one.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember if I got $85 for it, but I've sold one, and it's so exciting. Just those out of the ordinary things that you talk about regularly, Jason. If you haven't seen them, and they're uncommon.
Yeah, like today I was where'd it go? So I wanted to do a little thrifting today. I had to run some errands on that one side of town. I was by a thrift store, and speaking of uncommon, this is Joy Adamson's Born Free, but it's from Budapest. So I was just like, I'm not even going to waste time looking it up. It's $2. It's got to be worth more than $2. Being written in a foreign language, still has a dust jacket on it. But, don't expect to see Born Free in a foreign language in Summerlin, Nevada,
Right.
So I was like, quick pickup, and I was off and running. So let me ask you this. Lisa, do you look for Sunday missals? What are those?
I don't know what those are.
I don't know either.
Oh my gosh, our two religious people don't know what it is. Joy has stumped them.
Well, sorry, Joy.
Joy, you go back to jeans. You have stumped the guest and the co-host.
It might, it could be Catholic because I'm not Catholic. So the different denominations have their things, and we'll have to look that up and see.
So yeah, that's a good question for both of you because I'm not religious, really. So between, like, let's say Catholic and Protestant and Lutheran, so are all the Bibles different?
Do you want to take that, Debbie, or you want me to?
Go ahead. You're the guest.
Okay. Not all of them are different, but some of them are. Okay. So Debbie sent me an example of a German Bible, and I believe it had the Apocrypha. Well, that is also included in the Catholic Bibles. And so there's Jewish Bibles as well. And those are just the Old Testament. And so some Bibles are different and some are not. Did that answer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I would guess maybe the small sect of Jews for Jesus would have Old and New.
That's right.
There you go. See?
That's right. There's also some Bible study materials that are very, very hot. So today I picked up at a estate sale Priscilla Shriver's Gideon.
Love her.
This is just a Bible study workbook. And so Priscilla Shriver, Beth Moore, and some of those kind of Bible study leaders, those are very, very sought after, highly sought after.
Someone recently found a bunch of Joyce Meyer's CDs. Mm-hmm. They were the CDs and sold those too. So Joyce Meyer is a good one. A lot of those books, Joyce Meyer has tons of books. They're penny books. But if you got a whole set of them, mm-hmm. so they're not technically a Bible, but open your eyes to other Christian Bible study type things too.
So the Bible study workbooks that are blank, that are not filled in, and the CDs that accompany them. Those are what are so valuable.
Yeah, and she's a very popular speaker right now. Her dad's a pastor too.
Yeah.
I forgot I had a couple things ready to go for this today. Ta-da! Yeah, we had such a packed show. I forgot all my little stuff. Like, let's have the pug clean the window. I forgot the spinning CD during the CD scores. Like, I totally spaced on all the fun toys I have now. I mean, but here's a great question from Paul. Is there an average price you pay, or is there a price you wouldn't pay above, or what's kind of the norm when you're finding these at estate sales?
So I normally don't pay more than a couple of dollars, $1 to $2 at an estate sale, sometimes $4. But if I can tell just a really quick story, in Norman, there was an estate sale for an Episcopal bishop over the whole state of Oklahoma from this time to this time, his years. And he was the first bishop to ever ordain a transgender priest. And so I went to his estate sale. I was so excited. He had a whole entire room of Bibles. So I spent a whole room in the estate sale was Bibles. So I spent a lot. I spent more than normal, but I had one Bible that was the Jerusalem Bible, and it was red with gold gilding, and it sold for $75. So I think I paid $20 for it, which I normally don't do, but they had history. All of his books had history, and a lot of them had the provenance with them. And so I was just very, very excited to be able to go to his. But the normal estate sale, $1 to $2. This book today, I paid $1 for.
And what do you think that, if you said it, I missed it. What's that going to sell for about?
It would probably sell for 10, something like that. The back of the sticker says $12.95. But right now is when churches are getting ready to start their fall Bible studies. So it's time.
So do you sell books on Amazon at all?
I don't.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, Deb, have you done Bibles on Amazon?
I haven't sold a lot of Bibles. I may have years ago when I was doing FBA.
Because I would just like to know, are people going to Amazon for Bibles as much?
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves Prime. They love Prime. They're FBA.
Get your Bible quick.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because our Bible bookstore in town closed. So people have to go online unless they maybe Walmart. And, Easter time, the retail stores bring their Bibles out. I was going to ask Lisa, do you sell only leather, or do you, because some of the non-leather Bibles, they don't sell for as much?
So I buy just about anything. I really do. So one of the things that sells the best are Morocco leather. Have you heard of Morocco leather?
I don't know if
it's a very highly sought after leather. 60s, 70s, 80s, 1960s, 70s, 80s. And if you find it and it's still in its box, it'll still smell like leather. Oh my goodness. It's just beautiful. I picked this Bible up, and it's kind of older. If they have an inscription, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world, because people can put them in a Bible cover and nobody ever knows. But this one happens to be calf skin, genuine calf skin. So a lot of times you'll find those words imprinted either on the inside, if you can see that right there, that says genuine calf skin, or a lot of times it'll be right back here. Just this week, I sold one that said genuine bonded leather. Normally, genuine and bonded, those two words don't go together, so that was a real surprise for me. So I buy hardbacks as well. So can I show you one more? Can I show you?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm looking for.
So I broke this one. This one says New Testament on the front. It's a hard cover, but look at the font. I think you can read it from there.
Oh my, that's huge.
This is considered a giant print.
Nice.
It's huge, but see how big it is? But it's only the New Testament.
It looks like a full Bible, but yeah.
And I've got 4 watchers on it, but it has not sold yet. So to answer your question, Debbie, I buy and sell hardback and leather. And you're right, the newer ones that have this, I don't know what this stuff is. It's kind of like pleather, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's real leather.
It's not real. Yeah. They're pretty. They're very, very pretty, but they don't sell near as well. But I pick them up sometimes if they're on sale.
There's also paper Bibles. And, there's
paperbacks.
There's Bibles that are just for youth. They'll say youth on them. Mm-hmm. So there are some paper. We've got several Bibles. What I like, too, about like the leather Bibles is a lot of times the ISBN is printed right on the back of the book. It's very easy to just pop that ISBN into eBay or Amazon and see how much it's worth.
Yeah. All right, Stacy is sweating trying to keep up with questions, so let's start knocking them out. John wants to know, do you ever find things like birth certificates, marriage licenses, or cash?
I have read on the thrifting boards that people find cash in Bibles, and I have not.
Dang.
Very sad. Oh, except mine. And I found my Bible that I sold this week. It was in a Bible cover. There was $5 in the Bible cover. But ordinarily, I've never found anything like that. I find a lot of obituary papers.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie, Eric, by proxy of Stephanie, wants to know why the Bibles from the 80s and 90s do so well. What makes them special or different?
I think it's the leather and the covers, because the covers are the calf skin.
Okay.
This is an older Bible, and the one I just showed with the pink on it is a newer one, and I think people like the nicer covers.
All right, there you
That's
go.
just my guess.
And I would guess translations, because we had the King James forever, and then we started coming out with all these different, the NIVs, the Message, and we've even today now we've got even more new translations, so they're easier to read.
They are. Yes.
So I think that's a big one too.
All right, how about related items like hymnals?
I've done hymnals before, but I used to have to arm wrestle my husband over hymnals, so I never really did a whole lot of hymnals.
Someone in the thrifting board said that they do well with hymnals, so
right.
I don't see very many.
So there's our what those missiles are.
Oh, very nice. I haven't run across those.
All right, so those are not out there.
So there's another aspect of Bibles that are highly sought after, and I don't have an example of when I've sold them all. The thumb indexing.
Yeah.
The edges, when those are cut out with a certain book of the Bible, they go all the way from the top to the bottom. Thumb indexing makes them more valuable. So if you buy a brand new Bible, say in the store, you're going to pay at least $5 more for that Bible. So you want to keep that in mind if you're finding one with thumb index.
How about Bible study books directed towards men?
Absolutely. I just don't have any examples of those.
I would like to point out that Robin is very late to the show today.
Hi, Robin. She's a busy girl running marathons all over the towns.
All right. So Linda says, how do you tell it's Morocco leather?
It'll say it on the back.
Okay.
So just like that one calf skin leather one, the Moroccos that I've sold say it right back here on the back cover. So there's the front cover, and it'll say it right back here. Genuine Morocco leather.
Have you seen the Bible from Hawaii? I can't remember. What is that? It's a different language, more of a slang. I can't think right now. A friend of ours.
Pigeon?
Yes, his wife's Hawaiian, and he said, here, look at my wife's Bible. And I'm like, oh, that is so
I would actually like to see a Bible written in pigeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that too.
Oh, Mom.
And I also wanted to mention that I don't want people to be afraid of Bibles in different languages. So if you have...
We got one loaded up to show in a second because Debbie's like, let's throw a different language one too. What about children's illustrated Bibles? Are those a dime a dozen?
I have sold many children's illustrated Bibles. They don't go for as high of a price as others.
So at certain times of year when Bibles sell better, so when it's getting close to the two biggies, Easter and Christmas, are people like, I better buy a Bible quick?
I used to think that, but I haven't seen any of that since I've really been going all out on Bibles. Right now, people are getting ready to go back to school. We never know. As sellers, rarely do we know the motivation of someone buying much of what we sell. So for Bible's example, right now, people are going back to school. So you've got seminaries starting, you've got Catholic schools starting. My children went to a private Catholic school, and we had to buy a Catholic Bible for each of them. So I think right now is a great time
How about the gold edges on Bibles? Are those worth more?
I don't know if they're worth more. They are definitely prettier to look at. They are prettier to photograph, and I love them. I do not have an example of one of those right now. They sell faster.
Well,
so for more money,
that's a sign of a quality Bible too.
It is. It's exactly a sign of a quality Bible. And then when you have those that are well used and well worn, actually, this one does have, but it's worn. And so you can tell that it's not as substantial as it used to be, the gilding part.
Yeah, but still, it's a friend of ours up in Tacoma years ago found his family Bible in a Goodwill. Same town. He lived in the same area, but he found his family Bible in the Goodwill. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's sad to me. People comment on whether the Bible's used or not when they leave feedback and that kind of stuff. You know,
so
what do you say?
I'm glad I looked because we actually have a special quick guest in here. I didn't see her because we have so many things going on. She's below the line, and I'm like, oh, she is here. So speaking of Bibles, we have a quick special guest. Hi, Chandra. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Hi. Welcome.
The timing of your find and your story was so. It was a religious moment. It was so
Jesus.
Yeah, it was so crazy. So real quick, Chandra's in the Thrifting board and shared a story. Would you share the story with us real quick?
Sure, absolutely. Probably about a month ago, I was doing a thrifting trip to Goodwill, and I actually picked up, I think, 3 or 4 Bibles on that visit. I don't pay much attention in the store. I don't have time. I just look for a quick few hallmarks that I know sell for me. So I didn't do a lot of research while I was there in the store. And then a couple days later, when I was at home, I got them out and I was pulling them out to do photos for listing. And one of them, as I started flipping through it, and it, like you said, it's just an unexplainable type of feeling or moment, I guess. As I leafed through it, it was a leather-bound black Bible from the 1950s. The interior of the front cover had an inscription, and it was written from a wife to her husband on their first Christmas together as husband and wife. And as I continued to look through it, there were, noted births and anniversaries and deaths from the family inside. And I just had a really strong feeling that this Bible was never meant to have been at Goodwill. So I put it to the side and I listed the other ones that I had picked up. And when I had time, I Googled some information that I found in that Bible, and I found the gentleman who had owned it, whose name was inscribed on the front cover, had died earlier this spring. And so through the magic of Google and Facebook, I found his daughter on Facebook, and she had a private profile, but she did make a few posts public, and some of those were in memoriam posts about her dad. And I could tell that he had really meant a lot to her and she really missed him. And I struggled a little bit about whether or not I should message her, because I do understand from personal experience that everyone grieves differently. And sometimes they want final closure. They don't want reminders brought up to them. They maybe got rid of something on purpose and they don't want to know that it's still out there. But like I said, I just had a really strong feeling that that was never meant to be a Goodwill. So I sent her a message and I said, hey, this is going to sound strange, but I have your father's Bible. And I didn't hear from her and I didn't hear from her. And even though I wasn't hearing from her, I didn't have a set timeline in mind, but every time I went to pick up more items to list, I just couldn't pick up that Bible. I just couldn't do it. And I guess last weekend now, I finally heard from her. And I think what happened was the message went to her other folder on Facebook.
Yep, that's stupid.
And she had no idea it was there. So she messaged me, and quite honestly, before I could even read her full complete message from the first one, she sent me another message and another one and another one. And I don't know if I have ever seen so many exclamation marks and capital letters in my life in messages that people sent you. And she was just absolutely ecstatic. She told me later somebody had helped her clean out the estate. And that Bible had been in, she called him her daddy, even though he was, 78 years old. The Bible had been in her daddy's nightstand, and she doesn't know how it ended up in the Goodwill box, but it did. So I made time to meet with her. She's semi-local to me, and I brought her daddy's Bible. And she just cried. She just cried, and she hugged me, and she cried some more. And I left just feeling so light and so happy that I could return that Bible where it was meant to be, even though it wasn't what I initially bought it for. And then even later in the day, she continued to send me Facebook messages after we had already met. She read the Bible, just saying that, thank you for giving me back a treasured part of my life that I never knew was missing, that I thought I would never see. So
it's worth more than many.
But the fact that this all happened on the week that Lisa is our guest, it's crazy. It's crazy awesome. And I had this loaded up for your little story. Good job.
That's a great story. Thank you for sharing.
All I could think of as you were telling that story is he touched that. He held that Bible, he read it, and for her to have it in her hand, be able to touch that book, that Bible that her dad had held, is just phenomenal.
Absolutely. And she flipped through it a little bit while I was standing there with her, and she got to the birth record page and saw where her father had written down the births of her children.
Oh,
wow. You rock.
Thanks.
No, it wasn't a story where there was money in the Bible, and that's why she wanted it back.
So thank you for sharing it in the Thrifting board, and also thank you for popping in tonight and sharing it on Thrifty Business. You are an amazing human being, and I give you a big round of applause.
Yes.
Thank you, Chandra.
Yes. Oh, cool. Oh, it's a good goosebumps.
Yeah. Thanks, Chandra. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too, Jason.
Bye-bye. All right, so a couple more quick questions, and then we'll knock out some of your scores, and then we're out of here. Where are they? We got so. All right, this is a good one. Do certain colors of leather covers do better?
I've never noticed a difference. So this one that's the calf skin is brown. We have black. We have lots of different colors. I've never noticed a difference.
All right. So
I love them all.
So yeah, my mom said, hey, give us a thumbs up. Give Lisa a thumbs up. Give Chandra a thumbs up. Yeah. If anybody is watching the show, they've learned anything tonight, they've felt inspired tonight, give us a thumbs up. Also, while you're down there, subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell. The bell lets you know when we go live. What about oversized Bibles?
I've been seeing people post on the thrifting board that they buy those really big family Bibles, and I just don't. I looked at one last weekend. I don't know.
They don't seem to be worth money when I
They really don't. But if they had good genealogy in them, I might. So I got down on the floor on my hands and knees, and I looked, and none of it was filled out. So I know humanity gives those big, huge family Bibles to their families when they do house dedications, but a lot of times they're just not used.
All right, so we're going to end on a couple your scores, some non-Bible ones too, but Debbie and I had popped together, or Debbie, I shouldn't say and I. Debbie does all the hard lifting, so thank you, Debbie. But Debbie popped up a Bible written in a different language, so here's an African Bible that recently sold for $35, and they say acceptable for the condition. It looks pretty good to me in these pictures. I think acceptable is way too, selling it way too short. I mean, the cover looked really nice. It doesn't look like it's all beat up and dog-eared. So, make sure. Oh, and then they wrote very good. Well, then make sure this says very good too, right here.
This one actually is not mine. This is an example of one we couldn't find my actual listing.
Right. And I wanted to say that the Bible, the whole Bible, Old and New Testament, have been translated in 349 languages. So you might be able to find one in a different language than our.
So tomorrow I'm going to, let's see. Oh, there's my parents. Hi.
I was say, do you know these people? Hi.
I do know these people.
How are you? Thanks for tuning in.
Tomorrow I'm going to an estate sale, and they have a ton of Korean Bibles.
Oh.
I'm pretty excited about that.
All right. So on the other end of the Bible side is the Satanic Bible. by Anton LaVey. I want to show you two things. It sold for $800. Again, we all have our line. If this is beyond your line, that's cool. But if you see this and it's beyond your line and you have a fellow reseller that lives near you, give them a heads up. But also, Stacy and I are friends with the granddaughter-in-law, Zandora LaVey. So weird little connection there. She used to live here in Vegas. All right. So I did some, I got some of your Bibles up, then I got some of your regular scores. So in case anyone wants to check you out, you are Museum Rock, right?
Museums, plural. Museums Rock.
Museums Rock. Yeah. Yeah. Don't go to Museum Rock. That's someone totally else.
Yes.
So what is the NIV Study Bible?
That is the New International Version, and it is a top grain leather and no marks in it. So that was a really good find. I was very excited. And again, this is one that I pay $1 to $2 for.
Nice.
And then this was one I actually was able to find a little bit of the information. You sold this back in April for $75.
This was the bishops, the Episcopal Bishops Bible that I referred to a while ago. Beautiful, beautiful Bible.
And I also found this one, the Cambridge.
Okay, this is one of the Morocco leather Bibles. So it's in that case. You can see that case behind it. And if you could smell it, it would smell like leather, even though it was from 1984.
I'm going to ask StreamYard, can we do a smell-o-vision? That would be cool. But not everything you sell is Bibles. Let's talk Old Spice. This is
Woohoo! Found for $1. I found 3 of them, so I paid $3. The first one sold for $50, went international, and the next 2 sold for $32.50.
Wow.
Estate sale, I assume?
Estate sale, yes, sir.
And that's not the soap on the rope. That's the refill.
That is for the mug that the men put the shaving.
Okay.
And then they use the brush and water.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I'm looking at this and be like, well, whatever. You put it at auction and got 10 bids. This is crazy.
Yeah, it was, I think it was a bridal from the 60s, bridal lingerie. So there was a gown underneath that robe and it was all matching.
That's pretty nice.
That's pretty. Was that $86?
Yeah.
Yes, and I paid $5.
Nice. All right, where'd you find this Eddie Bauer backpack?
Oh my goodness, I found it at an estate sale. Paid $37.50 for it. Took it to Europe in July. Brought it home. Sold that baby because I just could not keep that in my closet.
All right, so why'd you spend $37 on a bag at an estate sale?
Because I needed one to go to Europe.
So you got your money's worth for what you needed it for, and then you sold it for $150.
I did. Yeah, I was very happy. I know. Yay! I was so excited.
My wife said,
Did you put a Bible in it when you went to Europe?
No, I did not. And honestly, I haven't told my husband I sold it yet.
Oh, is he watching right now?
I don't know.
Mom and
He was
Dad,
supposed to be teaching CPR, so we'll see.
And then what? I didn't even know this was a thing. So a CPAP cleaning, sanitizing equipment.
Yes, it's for CPAP. So you put the mask down in it, and my mom says that it cleans it with oxygen. I don't really understand the concept. Paid $25, sold it for $200.
Don't you watch infomercials at midnight? I see that all the time on the infomercials.
No. Is that what you watch at midnight?
Sometimes in between panels.
What? How long was this listed, Lisa?
It was listed for about 36 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, if even that long. I'm not sure if it was even that long. It's a very quick sale.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
then, like the rest of us, you got your duds too. So what's this little poo corner?
Well, I sent this in to Debbie, and just a couple of days later, it sold for the full asking price of $22.50. But it was free. But it was also listed well over a year.
See, that our theory works. You talked about it, you sent me the link, and then it sold.
It did, yeah.
That's how it works.
It was a cutie pie.
And then last but not least.
And this has not sold. I would, if anybody's watching and they want to make an offer on this, I would take $10 for it, free shipping. I have a lot of these Valletta things, and
I've never heard of Valletta. So it's a little mini fun.
It's just like Scentsy, but you put food in it.
Oh,
so
you do that.
Same concept, but cheese or chocolate.
Oh, then it's not so big to clean. Oh, I like that. And it's red.
There you go. There's your deal of the day. If anyone I feel like QVC now. There's your deal of the day. We only got one, so jump on it quick. $10. It can be yours. That is Museums Rock.
And you could put wax. You could put the scented Scentsy wax in it. You know, you can get those anywhere. I wanted to, before the show ended, Jason and I showed him earlier. I can't say this is for sure, but I kind of have a feeling there might be some money laundering going on with some Bibles on eBay, because their Bibles, the others are like $76. I know these Bibles. They should not be selling for $1,700. Several of them selling for $1,700, $1,800, $1,900. I'm like, oh, you do your money laundering, then you give your grandma the Bible to ease your conscience. I don't know, but I just wanted people, if you're sourcing and you see these Bibles selling for $1,700, don't think that's real, because that's just crazy.
And money laundering happens with a lot of products. I was doing a speech on plush once, and these Super Mario plush were selling for like $1,200, and then the same ones were selling for $13, and I'm like, huh? And then I asked an eBay executive, and he said money laundering, and I laughed, and he said, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And so, right, when you see normal products for exorbitant fees, keep that in your mind, that don't base your purchasing of the item on, oh, I'm getting $1,700. Now, there are $1,700 Bibles. They're not common,
right?
You know, but if you feel you're holding something fairly common, and if nothing else, pop it in the thrifting board. We're happy to help anybody.
Yeah. I just don't want somebody to think, oh, I'm going to go buy myself pay off my car with the $1,700 Bible that's worth $80 or $50.
Yeah. I saw one of the comments on the thrifting board that someone said, should I buy the Bibles at the Dollar Tree? And I really meant to stop into the Dollar Tree this week, but I haven't had a chance to. But I would say probably no, because those are probably more those gift and award Bibles. I did buy a gift and award Bible at a sale, and it was, the reason I got it is because it wasn't quite as cheap as some of the other ones, and it was the New Living Translation, so it was a little bit different. It's been listed for a while and it hasn't sold. One other thing I wanted to mention was the red letter. Oh, yeah. Sometimes people really look for the red letter edition, so be sure and highlight that if you have a Bible that has red letters.
Okay, so for those of us who don't read the Bible, what's the red letter mean?
Those are Jesus's words in red.
Okay.
Where's our Jesus?
See? Oh, hold on. You're right. I should have been ready. Hold, please. Ta-da. There we go.
Those are his words. And I was going to say, it's not uncommon to find Bibles still in the boxes. Because like you said, baptisms or whatever, dedications, whatever, and then the people never touch it again. Here you got this nice new Bible in the box. It will have an inscription to such and such on a date. And also, I have another friend that sells a lot of Bibles. And what he explained to me was, when you have a Bible that you've been using, you know where everything's at. That's why my Bible I've had since 1976, I know how to flip the pages. So when you lose that Bible, you want that Bible back. Yeah. And that's why they're on eBay trying to find that 1980. My Bible's the New American Standard Open Bible. I would want to find that Bible again. So that's why we're doing a great service. Someone mentioned, what was it? Selling salvation by selling these Bibles. We're providing a convenience.
I just sold an open Bible this week. The Schofield is a really good brand. The Open Bible, many different good brands.
Well, be careful from Bibles from the Dollar Tree. Chapters tend to be missing. Wait a minute. Jesus was a baby and now he's risen. Where's the middle? Where's the middle?
I would think that would not be the place you would want to buy your Bibles.
And right, look, I hope tonight's episode has inspired you. If you've never looked at the Bible section at a thrift store or Bibles at an estate sale, I hope it's inspired you tonight to go look at that, because there is good money to be made. Everything we talk about on this show and the thrifting board and in the Secret Beach too is meant to push you out of your comfort zone. Once you conquer your comfort zone, Lisa, once you conquer Bibles, go find some CDs and vice versa. So now I'm really going to start paying attention, because now I've got this working knowledge. It went from, okay, I know what a Bible is, to now, okay, these are the things I'm looking for. And I'm going to go find some Morocco leather. I'm excited now. So I hope you guys get out there, go find some Bibles. And if you do, let us know on the thrifting board. Say, hey, I watched Lisa. I got inspired. I went out. Look, I found this one. It was $50 or whatever it is. So
I
share
want to add too, commentaries. I've sold you can pick up a whole set of commentaries. There'll be one on each book of the Bible, or maybe half of them. And you can sell those sometimes for like $200.
Yeah, Matthew Henry's commentaries, those are really popular.
So when you're on the Bible section, look for those too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much for being amazing guest. Thank you for walking up to me and saying hi at eBay Open. I'm so glad we had you on. We had a great live crowd tonight, so thank you everyone who tuned in live.
Thank you.
Thumbs up.
Those of you tuning in after the fact, if you've got a question, just pop it in the YouTube down below, and we'll get it over to Lisa, and we'll get an answer for you, because I know some of you are at work, kids stuff, sports, whatever. No biggie. As long as you watch, it's all that matters. And we'll see you next Thursday, 8 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock West Coast.
And thank you to our special guest, Chandra.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah, she's still hanging out here.
That was fabulous.
Thanks, Chandra.
Fabulous.
All right, everybody, have a good evening, and I'll see you around the thrifting board at the Seeger Beach. Bye-bye.
Bye. Here's my dog.
I'll say, what